follow us on the YouTube,
Yep.
the
Yeah.
the Facebooky,
The TikToky.
the TikToky, the Twitchy.
Just gonna mute myself here for a second so I can make sure we're good.
Ooh, look at that automated bot already brought this into the stage video channel. I'm liking it. So now people can go and see it anytime they want.
Okay, there we go. That's posted.
Can we get a mic check?
Check.
Live on TikTok.
His name there?
Although I
Or-
don't, Charmaine here is saying that we're live on TikTok, but I don't think we're going to surpass that viral video that's going around there, Charmaine. I can't really discuss it here, not really appropriate, but something about a hawk and a two, I think, has taken over TikTok lately. So
Hmm.
I don't think Stream on Ants is going to surpass that.
Oh, that poor girl.
Unless we can come up with something really hilarious. But
Honestly, if you watch the whole video, she's a pretty sharp young lady, like incredibly on point with all of her responses, and I think she's hilarious. I thought she was.
I think it was very funny.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
because the thing is, the reason it went viral was because it was so just
off the
spontaneous,
cuff.
right?
Yeah,
And off the cuff, and so
good for her.
I'm telling you, like me and my friends, and I'm sure millions of other people have had quite a laugh about it. So, but let's get rolling on Ants here before we stray off topic too much.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Good day, everyone. I want to welcome to another live stage event where we talk everything ants. I want to remind everyone that if you want to chat with the stage crew, we do have a live chat open where you can banter back and forth, send some memes, have some fun. We have the live IDs open. If you want to post your ID there, the fairies will send you a nice little gift. It's a community chest box, which are pretty nice, random stuff in there. We do have the stage topics channel, which is fairly new to us. But if you want to post later in the week a topic that you guys want to be covered or discussed, please go ahead and post in the stage topics channel, and we'll do our best to get around to answering those topics. Stage videos is now a thing, which I'm happy to announce that all our videos will be posted on the official Discord for circulation at a later date. So if you find a topic here that you were discussing at length, you can share it with your alliance members. Don't forget to like and share the video. Go ahead and like the TikTok so that we can start going live on TikTok would be great. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the host, Draco. What's happening, buddy? It's been a busy week.
Oh my goodness. There's definitely been quite a lot of things that actually has happened since the last stage we've done, you know. But I'm just going to get straight to it. The most hot topic on everyone's mind, besides newer servers, unfortunately. But actually, let me start with the newer servers. They finally are able to obtain my favorite little insect, the flaming hot Cheeto supervillain, the gladiator mantis.
Hey, hey.
Ooh, there you go. See, look, even the game knows it's a hot little Cheeto. They even put hot right on its symbol. Ooh. So,
first,
yeah,
is that
sorry, go
first?
ahead.
Like, is this the first time you're able to grab it,
Not for
or
me,
the
but
newer server?
the newer servers, yes. Our trial, who isn't, or sorry, not even trial, stage member Jake Dog, he's unavailable for today, but he posted saying they're able to obtain gladiator mantis now.
That's good.
Yeah, so flaming hot Cheetos all over the new servers. And I gotta say, for me personally, I love my flaming hot little Cheeto, the little cheater synergy. Yes,
Flaming
Charmaine, I
hot
honestly like it.
Cheeto.
Yeah, the flaming little hot Cheeto. So pay to win players over the new servers see this little insect. I hope they grabbed it because honestly, me personally, out of the I think Generation 5 insects, this is my favorite one. And not just because I love my shooters. But, you know, back to what I was originally going to say, Generation 6 has finally begun, everyone. Ooh, how do you guys like the new Generation 6 insect?
Well, with the Generation 6 release, they came out with a new portion of the insect. So it definitely looks like it's a little bit more of an upgrade from Generation 5. So the uh, the newest insect. Oh, hold on one second.
Holy, level 88.
Yes,
Yo,
but
who
so the
who's
newest
got that?
insect is no whale. So the latest insect has this new talent tree feature. It's like a star, right? And it's
Do you have it? Screenshot?
yeah. Hold on, I'm posting it right now. So you can upgrade these stars here, and it gives you a more um, like focus type of insect. So
Ooh.
you can improve this portion of the talent tree. I'm trying to get to it, but if you click on the insect talents, okay, there's a new icon in the top right corner that allows you to change certain aspects of it. So, um, the first thing that you have to get, and these are all based on the actual level of the insect. So, the maximum that you can get is 11 of these star points. And that's if you have a level 11 insect. If you have a level 9 insect, then it is 9 star points. So, in order to open this up, you are going to use 1 point for that first star that's at like top middle, and then it opens the paths to the other stars. So, the first one is called Root, and it gives you all soldier attack plus 5%. But from there, follow the stars on the paths that you want to focus this insect on or give you some additional stat boosts. Some of them are defensive, some of them increase like the middle line attack, some increase the back line, some increase the front line. So the three going down from that middle point are going to give you more focus on front, middle, and back line um, ants. And then the two that give you the 4 stars, the one going directly to the left, and then the one going second from the right. Those give you like additional defense and attack boosts. So the one to the left is attack focus. The one to the right, one down from the far right, is defense focused. And then the one all the way to the far right is health focused. And then some control resistance. So the nice thing with that is you can really fine tune this insect based on your march type. Now, when it looked like when you selected these, there was no way to revert it, but it's actually pretty easy. When you revert the talent tree using the seaweed, that also reverts back to 0. So if you make a mistake or if you set it up one way, you can always reset your talent tree and redo it all over again, including the star points. So that's definitely something that's uh, a bigger improvement than any other insect that has come before it. And also, you're getting some stat boost from the main boosts versus Generation 5. So it looks like it's about a 5% increase, like in soldier and attack and defense, and um, some other improvements over the previous generation. Um, the funny thing with this, though, is if you look at the release of this insect versus previous releases from generation to generation,
Mhm.
it used to be more of like a 10-month, 12-month difference between the releases, and this is more like a 7-month difference. So I don't
Oh,
know if that's
Discord's
going to
doing
be
its thing again.
I don't know if it's the norm or if this is just maybe because of the Kumoku event, they released it a little bit earlier. But it does look like there's going to be some changes with how quickly insects are released. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, because honestly, I think the Synergy 2 shooter might be coming out a lot sooner than what a lot of players think. It's not actually official. I am just assuming and guessing and trying to estimate when it's going to come, but I say sometime in August we're going to see that new shooter one come out.
Yeah, I think like a lot of discussions that I've had also with players out there that August, September, we may see the 6th generation shooter because the last 5th generation insect released was carrier synergy with Para. So it looks like if they follow the same pattern, um, sometime between August and September, we'll see a shooter, and maybe December, January, we'll see a carrier 6th generation insect if they follow the same paths that they have in the past. So that'll be
Yeah.
interesting to follow. Um, in another subject, the Kumoku event is officially over. Those
Hmm.
that collected points um, should be able to collect up anything from the collaboration store that they have not grabbed yet. There's no more earning points in that, so make sure you grab items and don't leave those points go to waste. The one nice thing that I will say is um, over different social media platforms and everything, the three main things from the collaboration point store, which would be the skin, frame, and the ornament. Even if you were 100% free to play, as long as you did all of the tasks and everything, you would have been able to grab all three of those. I know we discussed it on the previous stage that it may not be the best course to get all three of them, but
Mhm.
depending on your playstyle, but you were able to earn enough points to grab the three items from that store. So, um, do you have a screenshot of that, Draco? Of like the point store?
Yes. Somewhere in the mass billions of screenshots I have.
But yeah, so players were able to grab all three if they wanted to, which the skin gave a little bit of an increase in stats. So does the ornament. The frame, not necessarily, but it's a cool frame and it's a permanent frame. So especially for those out there that love frogs, it would be a nice little addition to their account. So that was relieving, because I don't think in Godzilla, even if you did everything, you were able to grab the 3 different items that they were offering in that. So we weren't quite sure, but now that the event's over, there's plenty of people that posted that they were able to grab all 3.
Yes.
So
Sorry, guys. I am still trying to look for that screenshot. Oh, here. This is an old screenshot, but it shall still do. Because I remember, so last stage, you brought up a really good point. What you touched on today is honestly 3,000 points for a frame that doesn't provide any buffs, which separate topic. I don't know why frames don't help give some kind of stat buff, but honestly, what I did, I got the Hell skin first, and then I actually spent all my points right away on the exotic shells.
yeah,
Because, like you said last stage, starring up your insect, or sorry, not insects, your special ants provides you buffs. So right away, boom, 5 exotics right there, and actually still had enough for the ornament, which was
yeah.
really nice.
You want to know something that's funny? Someone made a very valid point. Like, sent me a DM, and we were discussing it. Or actually, I think we were discussing it in like a voice channel. But they said that, to be honest with you, like I said that the hill skin was a better option to go for over the ornament, because like in the order that I did it last stage. But then they made a very good point that I didn't even consider, that the ornament, 4 points used, is actually technically a better buff on your account, because even though it's 0.2%, it only costs 2,000 collaboration points, whereas
Mm-hmm.
0.5 buff from the hill skin costs you 6,000. So it's almost the same buff, just kind of going towards different, like, buff per cost. So like grabbing the ornament and then grabbing like the exotic shells or something like that for a player would be a would also have worked, no problem. It was a pretty valid point, because like you said, you're not spending as much to get that by going for the ornament. Cost per
Mm-hmm.
material. So
Yeah, because honestly, for everyone, not just free to play, um, every single buff you can get, honestly, is truly amazing. Like, I kind of broke down. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? Last day of this collab, and I've seen some people say that they're wondering if it's going to come back. No, unfortunately, this collab won't come back. So I actually broke down and got the insect skin.
oh,
And
nice.
whew, nice little medal to go along too. Everything, all the buffs matter. But yeah, this collab, I gotta say overall, I was actually pretty happy with. At the beginning, I felt like it could have done better, but as time went on, it was really nice. All of the rewards we were getting, players who are on server. This was a great way to make it entertaining, and especially those on season, who are unfortunate and doesn't have the most active season with, who knows, maybe some alliances aren't participating as much. So this was a great way to pass time and make it fun, and collect new materials and items for players. And yeah, ironic, a lot of bedings were happening too. So it was great. I'm actually pretty excited that this event came. And now, since it's ending, I'm thinking, oh, when will the next collab be? What will it be? But
Yeah,
that
I
is
like the event.
2025's issue if they do go with the same path, because it's been a year since Godzilla came, I think.
Yeah, I do like
Yeah.
these events. Like I said, there's a lot that is available both to players that spend and free to play players, and so a
So
lot of nice little boosts that you can get in these events. So I personally like them. Either way, you can get some things that are not normally available. So I hope they speed that up and maybe do another collab with someone else. See, I think it'll be a year before we see another one.
yeah, yeah, exactly. A whole year, missing the collab, but it's pretty good. I'm actually really glad that they went along with this anime. So I'm a spider. So what? And it's oh, go ahead.
Stage is broken.
Yeah, it's for me. So I heard you break up off and on.
Me or
Discord's having some issues.
Don't blame me.
Can you guys hear me
Why am
though?
I being blamed?
I hear him. I hear everything going on. Or no?
The problem is you guys are breaking up for me. I hear robots. I think it's a Discord issue. The last couple hours have been a little how do you say not to working.
Uh,
Yeah, because
well,
right now, Otto, half of what you said just broke up.
well, it's working fine for me. I hear both of you. So
Here, I'm gonna try to exit Discord and come back.
All right, you continue on, Soul.
anyway, so if you guys haven't posted yet into live IDs, make sure you guys do that so we can have the fairy send you a little something something. There is a topic that I do want to bring up that is hitting a little bit closer to home for me, and I kind of want to know if the audience has ever seen anything like this because I'm very proud of a young lady that is here in the audience who happens to be in my alliance, but we aimed to hit a goal on our last alliance expedition. And so me and a couple members of our alliance got together a few weeks ago and discussed a plan of action on this. This particular player is extremely good at gathering, and so um, we were we decided to give her the king buff so she could gather fast and targeted buildings in a certain order so she could bounce around and grab these points from gathering. And as expected, she did get the MVP on the AE, but she also broke one of her own personal records and got over 1,000,000 points, which none of us have ever seen before. Like even with king buffs and all things going right, typically the highest that we've ever seen is high 900,000 points. So very very proud of her, and she is in the audience right now. So
Ooh.
Slug, very good job on your gathering for that event. But
So
that
Mrs. Zeal broke the Discord?
Mrs. Zeal broke the Discord and the game. But part of the reason why I want to bring this up is
Oh man.
there's always been this kind of thought process, and it comes up quite often in the game that, oh, that guy's a whale, this guy's a heavy spender, and, like free to play players can't advance in this game or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, the game is still very skill based, and there are a lot of aspects to this game. When you look at I posted in the chat here the marches she was using. So if you know anything about AE, when you're gathering, having higher level insects, having gold insects, setting yourself as cultivator, and putting certain ants in certain marches all give you a slight advantage to do this. Okay. But when you look at her marches, you look at the insects that she was using, she's technically at a disadvantage from someone that has 4x11 insects. She literally, one of her marches was using a 4-star purple insect. Okay. And she was, for all intents and purposes, able to achieve over 1 million points on an alliance expedition that is very, very difficult to get under any circumstance, right? So, you know, I don't like it when people discount players that are free to play and that they can't provide um, a great service to their alliances. And so, for me, it's even more amazing when you see something like this happen, and it benefits the entire team, right? Like,
Mhm.
so don't discount these free to play players that are coming into your alliances, and because if they know what they're doing, you can have a whale that spends an enormous amount in this game and not be half as valuable as someone that knows the game very well, has the skill to do certain aspects, and you know can help your teams out a lot more. So again, thank you, Slug. You did amazing. We're going to attempt to repeat this next week. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted on if she can break her record again. But for it was very, very difficult work. So congrats, and we had a great time. We were doing this in VC, trying to target buildings and stuff, and working together to make sure she could gather enough. But
Mhm.
very happy. So.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned certain ants can help with this. I've heard it, and unfortunately, I don't have all those ants, but the masters provide a speed buff, don't they?
Yes. So, like, if you notice her marches, she put all the masters. So, Reap Master, Shikray, MM, they they all provide like a faster marching. So, um, in her particular situation, she wound up putting 2 masters in one of the marches and one in the other. Um, I am not very good at gathering on AE, but the way I have it set up for my gatherers, I put one in each row. So
Hmm.
501 thing. So if you interested in what server, so but
Yeah.
so I think it was a great achievement. And if anyone has ever seen anyone, we've been kind of searching to see through various posts on Facebook and Discord and all the ants um, community pages that are out there to see if anyone's ever broken 1 million, because we're kind of curious to see if anyone's been able to achieve that. Like I said, we've seen high 900s. I think actually Slug has also gotten in the high 900s on previous attempts here, but we haven't seen anyone break 1 million. Um, so that would be kind of curious if anyone knows of anyone that does that, or has a very strong gatherer in the alliance. Um,
Hmm.
you know,
Well, honestly, I think I've actually seen a player break that record too. I think it was with Vic, but Nim, do you remember if we've ever seen a player break a mill?
I'm unsure because I'm mostly focused on hitting things and not gathering.
well, I mean, the funny thing is, so Slug just recently came into our alliance from through CSC because the groups expanded for us. So like this is actually her alt account, but she was able to come into our alliance now that group 2 and 3 merged together. So she was able to come in because of that. But like previous to that, the record that I just posted, Ice has been a long time member of Cole, and she is also another one of those great gatherers on AE. And as you can tell, she didn't have the king buff because Slug did, and she still got 579,000 points, which is great for an AE. I mean, like, honestly, there are AEs that I'm happy to get 50,000 points, right? Like, so when I see these players get 200, 300, 400, 500,000 points, it's like amazing to me. But so
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like even for me, when I could spend 40 minutes on AE and just barely pass the amount to obtain the rewards.
20,000
But
points.
yes, thank you, 20,000 points. Because for me, I do not like gathering ever, really. But sometimes, fortresses are fully occupied. No one's garrisoned to get points. And sometimes, like, your matchup is overwhelming that you can't really get any points from killing their ants. So gathering
You know,
can really help.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's one of the aspects of this game that I love so much, right? Like, there is something for everyone in this game, right? Like, so
Mhm.
if you want to be a fighter and jump in and make the strongest marches you can, great. Then there's players that are great at gathering during AE events. There's players that are like super smart and know tactics very well and do timed rallies and stuff during events. And
Mhm.
it really is a game that um is very team focused, team oriented. I'm giving her plenty of props for what she achieved during this AE, but the truth of the matter is it really was a team effort. And she reminded me of that like, we had Ironic was in the VC with us, and while I was trying to focus the team on taking certain buildings at certain times, he was
Mhm.
shouting out how many minutes she had to gather on that tunnel before she could jump to the other tunnel, how many seconds were available on the other tunnel. So like, um, we happened to like get together to focus on that. And the same goes for events. I mean, like, I know you guys are in Vic and you're very organized. You guys jump into VCs to time rallies and make sure people are hitting the right targets and when you notice something. So just bear that in mind that like a little bit of organization and a lot of teamwork can help your teams be much more successful in the events that you wind up participating in. And really the point is don't discount the fact that because someone's a free to play player that they can't be super uh, valuable to your team. So
Yeah, exactly. Like what a lot of people here uh that I know I should say is that we would rather have 20 free to play active players than like 10 mega whales who aren't very active. Because at the end of the day, activity is what's really going to matter, right?
I
So,
agree.
yeah, exactly. And you know, speaking about free to play, I've just been wondering, at this point, a lot of players are obtaining Brown Rogue and Parada for free from, this amazing event that I love personally, Ants Party.
Yeah,
So,
get certain amount of fragments, right? And then
yeah,
apply those fragments
yeah.
towards.
So, yeah, towards it, and then you unlock what a lot of people consider pay to win, but at this point in time, I honestly consider them free to play ants because of this event. And you just gotta do, I think, 2 events or 3 events to unlock just one of these ants. But just because you're able to obtain them for free, their awakenings are still pay to win, which, in my opinion, I feel like they should start putting their awakenings for Brown Rogue and Parada into the Maze store
Yeah, that
because
would
they
be
put
fun.
Golden Venom's awakening in the Maze store for free, but you still got to buy the fragments for Golden Venom. So at this point, to help benefit the free to play players who are obtaining Brown Rogue and Prada, why not throw those awakenings into the Maze store, which will help players, utilize these ants and also increase the awakening gallery? Because a lot of players keep on forgetting the more awakenings you have unlocked, the higher their levels are, the more points you're going to get to increase your level for Awakening Gallery, and that will help buff up your ants too.
Yeah.
So at this point, I honestly say they need to start adding those two awakenings to the Maze store. Help out the free to play, help out players who don't want to spend the money on those awakenings when they are able to purchase awakenings for newer ants who are more beneficial.
I mean, I do like that they put the Golden Venom awakening in the Maze store like that. But like you said, that's you still have to
Uh,
purchase the ant
Sorry, so I can't
somehow.
understand you're saying Discord's acting up again.
I said I don't know if you can hear, but I
Yeah.
like how they put Golden Venom, and like you said, it would be nice if they did the same thing in future releases of Awakenings. Um, so the nice thing though that I am seeing with this game is there is kind of a closing of the gap. I'm seeing a lot of players be able to improve their marches. There is less of a gap between. I mean, I'm going to exclude the mega whales that are out there in the game because even if you're a light spender or free to play, it's very hard to get through their marches. Those there's those players that purchase everything, right? They're
Hmm.
over
Hmm.
50,000 stats, and you know their their accounts are have 100 level insect on it or something like that, and it's a little bit difficult to go through those. But for the most part, as the game's progressing, and this is part of the reason why they're able to um, expand the groups that are available to CSC is because as the newer servers are coming out there, they are getting material, and like you said, they just released that Gladiator Mantis in a newer server, which if you look at how long it took for us to get from a regular Mantis all the way to being able to get a Gladiator Mantis was a very long period of time, and the newer
Hmm.
servers are able to get stuff like that faster. So I mean, that is kind of closing the gap to where they can do server expansions because it's no longer going to be like a huge disadvantage from someone that's in, let's say, an 800 level server and someone who's in server um, 20. Okay. I mean, like, you guys are a prime example of that. You are matching now with group two and maybe even group one teams on your events, right? What's the lowest server that you've faced on an event? Auto.
Hmm.
I don't know if Auto can answer that because or I mean, you could Draco or Nim. I mean, you've been in your alliance and you're on 850, right?
Yes. Yeah. Nim, do you remember what's the oldest server we've ever faced?
I'm not sure exactly. I am looking in my building.
Because I remember once we've probably faced a server in the 500s, I believe. But even for, let's say, Warzone, um, for SVS, we faced newer servers who actually destroyed us. That we've actually lost every day for that time period of being matched. And I think we faced like a server in the 1100s, maybe. So,
Well, I'm
it's.
gonna put it
Mhm.
to you this way. So we uh our alliance has access to cave scores from every server in the game. Okay. It's part of the process that we go through to determine potential matches during events. So, um, we have players that track most major alliances throughout the game so we can get a good estimate of who our potential matches are. And in our
Mhm.
upcoming VJ, in determining who would be a potential match for us, there is a team on your server, actually, Draco, OPS,
Mhm.
that is within the high likelihood category of matching against us. So,
Yeah.
and we're in 501. So, like, we are putting them in the extremely high likelihood to match against us in our next event. It'll be interesting if it happens. We won't know for a couple days now, but they are among the top contenders to match with us because they are registered for VJ. They're in our same rotation, and their cave scores are in line with being able to match with with the teams that we may potentially face. So I think that this gap between servers is narrowing and narrowing, which is a good
Yeah.
thing. You're gonna meet more players this way, right? Like,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, Wolfie said, because she's also in Vic, that we are currently 850 versus 385.
Okay, so that's 385 is the new group 2, which would have
Hmm.
been part of the old group 2 as well. So um it's close. The gap is definitely closing. So I mean,
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
great.
Yeah, because I have this screenshot Jake Dog sent me. Do you remember what server he's in? Is it 1100s?
It's in the 1100s. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So he sent me a screenshot. I blacked out this player's name and profile picture, just for respect. I don't know if he wanted me to show his ants off, so I just blacked it out. But looking at his Duel of Queen's Glory march, wow, that is incredible. 9.5 power, all pay to win ants with golden awakenings, all 8 stars, and it is phew, I'm just shocked. So yeah, the gaps are closing for it doesn't matter if you just started in a newer season or you've been playing for years. It's getting pretty close. So maybe this is what the developers are wanting and waiting for, letting players build up their hills, buffing them up, getting items and everything you could possibly do. And, maybe start merging servers together, start putting them together. Less dead servers out there, more activity. So maybe this is the track they're trying to go on.
Yeah. I mean, I love it because, like I said, like you typically get to meet players during these events. You're in an event for 45 days or whatever with players that you would never previously have had access to, right? They used to always keep everything within the groups. All of our
Hmm.
first AEs were among 500 level servers, basically. And then as time goes by, you get these other teams that join, and you get players that congregate together in alliances, and you wind up meeting players from all over the game. Like, I mean, think
Hmm.
about it. When you face a team that's in the 300s, those players have been playing this game for 3 years now, right? And you guys may have only been playing for 2 years. And someone in an 1100 server may only be playing for a year, 12, a 1200 level server, a year or less. So like, I like that it opens it up to where you're meeting more and more people in the community. And I love it when
Mhm.
they do merges of the servers, because now those players now have access to come into your alliance that you may have faced in an event. um, I'll give you a prime example.
Yeah.
In our group, there's an alliance on 466 called DMC. They've
Mhm.
always been kind of a strong-ish alliance. We tend to match with them quite often on events because of whatever. But now that they merged, we were in group 3. They merged the CSC so that you could expand. Now that team wound up merging with another alliance that was in the former group 2 that was able to come to them, and they are ridiculously strong. I mean, they're I, I don't want to be their enemy on our next event, but it just shows that, like, they were able to get together with another very strong alliance that was in group 2 and merge together, and now they're probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest, alliance in the entire game, um, based on having active players, um, players that play the game, stronger mega whales. I mean, it's a combination of a lot of. Um,
Mhm.
you There was another team that was in this game. The alliance has since dissolved, but they were the strongest team as far as having mega whales in it. Okay, it was called Pig, and
Mm.
that team had a very strong top end, but they were not as active as like some of the other teams out there. So um, when they faced teams that were very active, it it knocked them down a couple notches. Um, so what wound up happening is they met another team that didn't have any mega whales in it, but was super active. I mean, like, they would go to events and 90 players would show up for their fights. Okay,
Wow.
which is
Oh.
like, I mean, if we get 50 to show up, we're very happy. 50, 60 players to show up to our fights, we're very happy. They would have
Mhm.
90 show up. And so a couple of the big guys from TIG went over to that alliance. Now they had the right combo, right? A bunch of super active, mid-level and uh, mid-level and entry-level accounts, and maybe one or two mega whales, and they were able to make a very strong team that has so far been undefeated. Um, and so it's when these merges happen, it's good to like get players together that are of like mind and active in the
Mhm.
game, and you know build up
Yeah.
teams that are really good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, pretty sure everyone here can agree that when you're in Lost Island, Barren, Vast Jungle, for me personally, I've met some players that are amazing, and I would have loved to be able to try to get them over to join my alliance, but they're out of their server range. And I've met a few who even wanted to join, and then when I realized what server they're on, I'm like, oh, like I wish I could, but you're out of the server range. You're not able to come. And they've seen how active my alliance is, how much fun we have with each other. And unfortunately, their alliance wasn't like that. It wasn't really active. They gave up way too early in the season, and it just brought that player down. They wanted to be a part of alliance like Vic, but fortunately they couldn't. So having that merger open, you meet more great people, like you said, so and you join alliances, make them stronger, and overall, it's just a better time. So
I
who
mean,
knows?
don't get me
Maybe.
wrong.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong. There is, like I said earlier, this game is full of different people that like to focus on different things, right? And so like having the strongest alliance isn't necessarily the solve all for everything, but
Hmm.
as any game is, you know, we as gamers tend to be competitive, right? So we try to build alliances that can be competitive within their abilities, and so for me, it's the absolute most important thing is activity, right? Like you said earlier, you'd rather have 20 free to play accounts in your alliance that are active players than have
Hmm.
10 strong accounts that log in once a day and may show up to a fight, may not show up to a fight for an event. And then there's other alliances out there that, I mean, trust me, I guarantee you, if we hunt around, there is an alliance that doesn't care about any of these events right now that are going on with Lost Island, Barren Land, or whatever. And it's a group that got together and said, we want to stick on server and do what the game originally had before all these events did. And they're out there,
Hmm.
right? Like, that's something you like to do. Why not go and do it and stay on server and do your thing.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Everyone's different, right? It's just finding the right alliance that
me,
lines up to what you
yeah,
like.
exactly.
Well, and I think it depends on what you use to measure strength by. You make the mistake of, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that strength is the numbers when it really comes down to the activity of your players or so many other factors. And I think it's a conversation we have a lot in our alliance. When we
Hmm.
encourage people about activity, it's like we reinforce like what our goals are as a team, and there's often a variety because there's a place for everyone. I think activity for us is key though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, especially for how you guys are a very competitive alliance, right? You like to go to these events. You guys like to do well in these events. And so, but again, it's not the strength of one player or two players or whatever that makes you successful in that pursuit. It's the activity level of having a lot of players that will get together, make sure that they're there on the times that are needed to defend or attack in the events that you're going to. So,
Well,
Hmm.
well, and I think we sit with a growth mindset. I mean, as Draco was commenting about players we've played with that can't migrate at this time, we continue to develop those connections. I still talk to people that want to join Vic that those options aren't open to, and we check in once in a while, and we're waiting to see because that activity and commitment and reconnecting shows that they're interested.
Yeah,
Did I?
exactly. So, yeah, no, sorry, I got a little bit distracted with Uncle Roger over here.
I was like, oh, I broke it. No,
But yeah,
but
no,
yeah.
Nim, you're right. Like, and even if we don't have the chance of our groups merging together, it's still nice to be able to, match up against or match in a team, or I should say camp with servers are out of our range because there's what thousands upon thousands of players in this game, and there's just some amazing people that are playing this game that I love having the opportunity to meet. Even let's say your alliance and the opposing alliance are having issues with each other, people are bickering, whatnot, which I recommend just stay out of it, please. It's not going to lead to anything good, just trouble. But in those alliances, there's still amazing people that I actually enjoy chatting with and like having a few laughs with, and it's amazing. So
Well, and I think that
it's Mhm.
well, just that your enemy today could be your teammate tomorrow. So
oh yeah,
Yes.
you need to be very conscious of. I mean, there's bantering that happens because it's the nature of the game. But you have to know that someday you may need to rely on these people that you're having those conversations with. So, got to build those relationships and
Yep.
reputation
We
matters.
actually have a rule, and we kind of inform players before we go into events that like we don't like the players to post battle reports in the season chat or whatever, because it gets misinterpreted that you're like bragging that you beat a certain player, and there's always players out there that are going to beat you, right? So like
Hmm.
you will never see our player. I mean, it'll happen once in a blue moon, but then we'll talk to them and explain to them that, hey, next event they might be our allies, and we don't want to we don't want to cause problems down the road. So avoid the bragging and whatever. And on the same token, you might be winning battles in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they turn on the activity level of your opponents, and now you start losing and just eat your words. So it's never good to be that, and you don't want your alliance to gain that reputation that these guys are just a bunch of a-holes. And um
Hmm.
But
and
even for
Yep.
the but even for the younger servers listening that don't have events open, I mean, your server is one big alliance, and developing those relationships are going to win you those SVS points that are going to allow your team and your server to grow.
well,
So
here's
you've
the
got to develop those relationships.
so I'm going to give you an example of like how this works in your favor, and like not being that alliance that earns this reputation for being like kicking someone when they're down or whatever. When we the alliance I'm in is very, very, very competitive, so we will fight it out, win, lose, or draw. It kind of we try to not stop at all. But we went into the first beta VJ, and we were assigned to blue camp. So um, that, as most of us know how that turned out, it was nearly impossible for blue teams to come over the buffs that were given to red for the very
Hmm.
first VJ. We tried. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we like fought like crazy for about a week, and then determined that, hey, this just is not going to happen. I mean, that there have been probably 6 7 major changes to the event since then, so it obviously was something that was not going to be possible. I think in that entire batch, only one blue team was able to win it out of the 90 some batches that were going in. That could be chalked up to having inactive red teams assigned together. So, but the point was that we had faced these teams before in the past that we were up against, and it was blatantly obvious even to them that it wasn't going to happen. So we worked it out with them. We basically said, hey, we'll fight whenever you guys want to fight. We'll work on champion points together, but we know there's no chance for us to succeed here just based on the first week of fighting. So they were kind enough to like let us hit every major achievement except tree, so that our players were able to get all of the milestones. It's if we were this team that was going to be like hard headed and like they would have never given us that opportunity if we were bragging in previous events and stuff like that. So developing good relationships, even though it's a competitive game, has always been like kind of a focus. And every team that we've faced, we know what each other's mindset is. Everyone's going to try to win. We're all going to do our best. When it becomes obvious that it's not going to happen for one team or another, we don't rub it in their faces, right? Because like you said, the next event, you could be partners with them, and you don't want to have that reputation of being uh, the hard-headed team that um, threw something in their face because they're going to remember it for the next event. I've seen terrible things happen in this game that are like, alliances that have hated each other so much, they get assigned to an event as the same team and they're blocking their teammates' ability to enter into certain clash areas and stuff like that. They're like basically working with the enemy. I mean, that is something that like I'm thankful I've never experienced, but I have seen many, many, many players complain about how their teammates sabotage their event. And,
Yeah,
We
because
we experienced that a little bit, Draco.
way too much. But the vast jungle we're in now is the perfect example of what you were talking about, Soul. Um, right now, our allies were people that we faced off against. Like our last season was the Lost Island, and we had great communication and great time with another alliance there who actually helped us win Lost Island, who is now a part of our blue camp, and our other alliance in our camp actually beat us in our last Barren Land. But we all kept everything civil. We had a great time together, no hard feelings. And then all of a sudden, we got matched up in our first fast jungle, and look and see, both of them are our allies. And honestly, we worked great together. So, just like how Nim said here, stay classy, basically, right? Have a great time. If you don't like what people are saying in season and how you're doing things, just ignore it. People remember things. People take screenshots. So
Yeah.
definitely keep that in mind. But before we end here, we actually didn't touch on the update that we had earlier this week. A few things actually changed.
Oh yeah.
With
Why don't you go over that?
So Nim, you posted these screenshots, so I'm going to be using them. One of them is actually the battle tabs. You know, they actually split it up a little bit, added an extra tab there. You have rally battle, member battle, and the ignore battle tab. But this has actually helped personally me a lot because being in an active alliance in season where there's fighting, you kind of get lost with all these different rallies, invades, everything. So this has made it a lot more easier to focus and organize yourself. And yeah, well, some people may not like it, but personally for me, it's a nice change. It helps organize things, especially for Vic. We can have easily 10 to whatever number rallies happening, and then we have players invading, and then you also have people burning our tower while we're burning their tower. So it's just kind of all over the place. So this actually, for me, helps organize it a lot more. So I don't know what you guys think of it, but Nim, what do you think of this new battle tab update?
I get a bit confused because just how we run our rallies, I'm bouncing between screens. But overall, I mean, I think it'll take some getting used to, and I haven't quite fully figured out what it's like the perfect uses for it. So, I mean,
I just want to know when I get to event how I'm gonna catch all the lizard ralliers in the middle of a battle. That's all I want to know. Does this help that task or does it hurt it?
Mm, it kind of still hurts it, honestly. I feel like I'd rather have a separate PvE tab section where when you're in the middle of battle and you have a player or two decides to, oh, okay, my alliance is fighting a war right here. Let me just rally some geckos. And some people are unfortunate enough to try to join a rally for the war, but accidentally join a rally for a gecko.
Yeah.
But
That's
mhm.
I mean that is one of the big complaints. So that this does solve that, right? Like, one of your teammates might be rallying a lizard while the rest of them are rallying a tower. So you might accidentally go into that lizard rally or purposely. I don't know, but
Yeah, and on the next update, just to quickly hop over because we are passing our time, is the update for the season fruit. We'll see screenshots.
that one I is pretty cool.
Oh, honestly, it's so much easier to visually see the amount of fruit you're getting for doing different tasks, like certain level hornets, even gathering. A lot of people before didn't know you got fruit from gathering. And now this update will actually show on your screen when you first recall your troops exactly how much fruit you're obtaining just from gathering. So I gotta say, out of all the updates that came with this one specific massive update, this is my favorite thing. Seeing exactly how much fruit you are obtaining from doing anything. And we all know fruit is very important. That's for sure, especially when you're ending a season. I've seen one player miss buying a bioessence by 10 fruit.
Oh
So,
man,
yeah, honestly, I would not be happy either, but this is a nice little feature, you know? Seems like this update was basically meant for helping organizing all the different things that happen in the game. So, personally, I love it.
yep.
Yes.
So before we go, if you have not posted your ID in the live ID channel, please go over there and do so before we close up these channels for the day. That way we can have the fairy send you guys a nice little reward for joining us here on stage. I do want to thank you as always. One of the things that I don't know if you guys are aware of or not, but there is a new channel in the stage portion of official ants called Stage Videos. If you've missed any part of this video or you want to I'm sorry, this live stage, or if you want to send some of the information that you've gained here, you can always share that with your alliance members. They can come up to official, look at the live videos channel, and the entirety of this live stage will be posted there. If we do different topics, uh, more focused topics, um, you can also, pull up past live stages there. So that's another nice thing Otto has kindly arranged for us with the recording of the stages. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and now TikTok. So um, if,
TikTok.
if, if you happen to go across those, we would appreciate it if you like the videos and subscribe to them, because that will allow for those videos to get higher up on the um, different platforms searchability, and more people in our community will be able to uh, find those videos, and a more informed community is definitely a better for all of us. It's kind of our feelings here with all the stage members, that the more information we can get out there to players, the more they can enjoy the game. So hopefully you guys take that into account.
Yeah.
But always a pleasure. What's the TikTok account name? Ants Army is the name. If you go to I can send you the TikTok link
Yeah.
here.
And just to cut in quickly, we also have stage topics. You know, if there's something you guys want us to talk about, and especially, this stage, we've unfortunately had a lot of audio difficulty because of, Discord. Thank you very much, Discord. If you guys want us to bring up any topics that we previously talked about, or we've missed anything, go straight to, yep, thank you, Charmaine. Stage topics. Post what you want us to talk about there. We're gonna see it before our next live stage, and we'll definitely bring it up and discuss it. So if you have anything, go straight
Last
there. Mm-hmm.
last thing though, before we go, Draco,
Mm-hmm.
there's a colony action right now going on for insects. So get
Oof.
into the game and get your insect level up. All right, man.
Yep. And honestly, I need diamonds. All those diamonds. Perfect.
Fodder.
Hopefully,
Give me the fodder.
hopefully we see you guys next week, and thank you once again for joining us today. Forward to another stage.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and taking your time out today. And we will see you next live stage. Take care, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.